All righty, let's see. Oh, what am I going to do with this? Well, it's not the hand you're dealt, it's how you play it. Welcome to Time Out with PC. I'm Pastor Cherie, and I want to thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about how things can change that you thought could never change with God's help. So I don't know if you're the kind of person who kind of regularly does an inventory of your life and how things are working out for you. And then sometimes things come along in life that you didn't envision, like delays, that you didn't ask for, disappointments that rocked your world. I mean, these are all things that we're just going through life. Chances are the opportunities that slip by you because you were distracted by so many of life's issues. I mean, distraction is the big deal in this day and time. So that's a big part in getting stuck in a situation. But I've been there. I have been there. But it's so easy to think that if I'd had a better start, if I hadn't made so many mistakes, or maybe I had more support, things would have been easier. But I'm here to tell you, it's not the hand that you're dealt that makes the difference. It's how you play it. I want to give you a real silly little simple example, but I love to play Scrabble. And if you've ever played Scrabble, you stick your hand in the bag and you pull out 7 letters. And many times I've gotten a tray with all vowels or all consonants, which is even worse. And so I've got a really bad start. But, your attitude is, well, I like a challenge. I'm going to win, and I always like to win. So I work on studying words that aren't normally used or anything, just to be able to get use of some of those letters that I otherwise wouldn't be able to use. Well, that's just a simple way. But in life, with God on our side, there's no such thing as a losing hand. Wow. With his power and wisdom, we can overcome life's challenges and difficulties and see our dreams come true. And we have plenty of Bible examples of how God has made a way for people and turned into victory with God's intervention. He can change things. He says, ask for it, wisdom if you need it, and he'll provide the answers and the things we need for whatever situation we're facing. But in order to win, we may have to get rid of some things that are in the way. But one of the biggest things that deters progress is when people make a lot of excuses. The excuse. Now, everyone faces setbacks, roadblocks, circumstances designed to stop you. And there's betrayals, there's hurts from other people, but they should not be allowed to determine our destiny. Your Heavenly Father says that with him, all things are possible. So here's a very inspiring story of a woman named Eileen who grew up in poverty in Canada. And so many times their family spent the night in homeless shelters without enough food to eat. But when she was 8 years old, she would go to bars, which she hated, but she loved to sing. So she would go to these bars and she would sing, and that would bring in some income for her family. And so she just had this dream of moving to Nashville and becoming this singer. And then all of a sudden tragedy struck. Both of her parents were killed in a car accident. She had been working hard and saving money with all of her singing engagements, but here she was left as the only caregiver for her 3 siblings. Now she had to make a choice. Was she going to just give up her dreams, or was she just going to put the next foot in front of her and ask for God's help in the process? So we all have those kind of choices to make. She could have made it her excuse to give up, but no, she didn't. So once they were grown, Eileen Twain moved to Nashville, and she changed her name to Shania Twain, and she became one of the most famous recording artists of our day. Now that's such an inspiring story. Hardship. She wasn't dealt the hand that she had hoped for. But she played that hand and she won. Wow. I'm just so filled up with just the idea of that. We can do the same thing. So it's a waste of your life and time to just make excuses. Because if you'll go to God, He put that dream in your heart, and He's going to be the one who's going to partner with you and give you the wisdom and order your steps so that you can achieve your goal. Nobody, including Jesus, said that life was going to be easy. And just because you're doing what's right doesn't mean there won't be challenges. There's going to be challenges. Your kids go off the rails. A financial crisis happened, an unexpected turn of events. But don't blame God, because He's the one who's on your side. So life isn't easy, but God's plans for you will prevail. Even now, He's working things out for your good. If you believe that, His favor, trust Him. Take another step of faith. Listen to these 3 stories. Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, was rejected 144 times. Henry Ford filed bankruptcy 5 times before he reached success. And Colonel Sanders was 66 years old before anybody was interested in his fried chicken recipe. It's never over unless you give up. Thank you for joining me today. I'd like to ask you to do me a favor if you would like, subscribe, or share this podcast with others. And don't forget that next week you can tune in for a new episode. I'll see you then.